In today's episode, Ashley asks, assuming everyone adopts AI, what will separate finance professionals that are the most successful from everyone else? What will they do differently? This is a really good, very interesting question, and it goes back to two things. Number one, understanding what the core benefits of artificial intelligence are, and number two, understanding what artificial intelligence is and is not good at. So let's bring up the first thing here. What is AI good at? Artificial intelligence delivers three promises. Number one, acceleration. Get to the answer faster. Number two, accuracy. Develop better answers than humans could develop. And number three, automation. Alleviating us from doing repetitive tasks, stuff that it's just not a good use for our time or our intellect. That's what AI is really good at and what the promise is. And companies will transform these promises into higher profits, more productivity without adding headcount, freeing up workers' time to do more valuable work, more interesting work. I mean, nobody wants to be the copy-paste person. And these are all things that artificial intelligence, using machine learning, supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement, deep learning, wide learning, whatever you want to pursue, all these forms of machine learning deliver on these promises. Now, here's where things get interesting. Artificial intelligence is really good at taking a data set that we know and that we may not know the answers in, but we know it, it's good quality, we are aware of it, and we can transform it into stuff. We start with good raw materials and end up with a good result. This is in the Rumsfeld matrix, the known knowns. The unknown knowns, the data is good, but we don't know about it. Artificial intelligence isn't as good for that. That still is much more traditional data science right now, exploring this data that is good, but we don't even know necessarily that it exists. So figuring out what's out there, what can we bring together, what can we sequence, and you can use machine learning techniques on a tactical level to help speed up those processes, to explore the unknown knowns, but at the same time, it's very difficult to automate that process beginning to end. Equally true, it's difficult to work with the known unknowns. We know that the data exists, but it may not be in great condition. It may not be prepared or structured for use by artificial intelligence systems. Remember that artificial intelligence requires a great deal of information, of data, and that data has to be in good condition. The training data and the testing data has to be in good condition in order for AI to build models successfully on it. If it's not, then you've got a real problem. Again, you've got more of a data science problem there, where you have this data. It's known, but the quality, the content, the stuff inside is still an unknown. That's where, again, you're going to need more data science than you will machine learning and artificial intelligence. And then the final quadrant in the Rumsfeld matrix is the unknown unknowns. We don't know, and we don't know if there's data for or what condition the data is in. And that's where humans still will play a key role in the process of business, these unknown unknowns, things we can't see inside the data to even get answers. So what are some of those unknown unknowns that you still need humans for, that in finance, in capital markets, in lending, and all these things, what are those? Well, they really center around four key areas, don't they? It is empathy, judgment, general life experience, and relationships. Machines don't do empathy. We can simulate aspects of it, particularly with natural language processing, but we can't do the actual process of being empathetic or even sympathetic with machines. That is something that is still people need to do. So if you are a banker or a lending officer or a stockbroker, you can probably have some level of empathy with the person that you're working with, with your customer, with your client, that a machine will never be able to do, unless you're a jerk, in which case, yes, we can get a chatbot to be less of a jerk to the customer. But we're assuming that these finance professionals that Ashley is referring to are actually good at their jobs. The second is judgment. Human judgment is very difficult for machines to put together because judgment comes from such a wide set of inputs that it's very difficult to capture that right now. We don't have general purpose wide AI. We have very narrow AI. And so being able to say, yeah, look, the numbers all say that you are a credit risk, but I just got a feeling that it'll be okay, right? Something like that. That's human judgment, and there is a lot of emotion in that. Again, machines and emotions, not their strong point. General life experience is a third thing where, again, finance professionals, particularly people who have a little more gray hair, can really go ahead and bring their life experience. Remember that a lot of AI comes from training data, right? Comes from training data sets, and you can capture a tremendous amount of it, but it's very difficult to capture tremendous amounts of it over massive periods of time and still have it make sense, because the models would have to change over time. So someone who lived through the stock market crash of '87 remembers that the conditions for that market crash were very different than, say, the Great Recession, 2007, 2008, when all sorts of lending just collapsed in on itself. Very different set of experiences, very different period of time, very different data, very different system inputs, but human behavior, very consistent. Machines have a much harder time modeling that than people who lived through these different financial crises can remember and work with. So general life experience is that really important third bucket. And finally, the fourth bucket, where, again, finance professionals who want to continue to succeed must be heavily invested in human relationships. Yes, you can and should automate the process of remembering when your clients' birthdays are, for example, but it would be very difficult to remember, Dinesh's kids love Pokemon, and so we'll get him, I'm going to send him a cupcake with a Pikachu on it. It's those little touches, it's those human relationships, it's that being willing to go out and have a beer with somebody, or have a cup of coffee over breakfast or lunch or whatever with somebody, that, again, machines would really struggle to do. Machines will augment us. Machines will give us the data that we need. You know, as we're walking into that coffee, we open up our device and we go, oh yeah, that's right, and all these things. The machines can remind us of the data, but then we have to be the ones who bring that data to life through our relationships, to be able to remember that it's Dinesh's kid's birthday, or that for the stocks he was talking about last month, not so good, or man, that small business loan, there's been a change in regulation. Yep, I got to remember to talk to him about that because something's changed. So those are the other aspects of relationships that, again, very difficult to automate, because relationships by nature are very wide. They cover an enormous amount of ground, and AI is very narrowly focused on solving problems. So if a finance professional wants to be as successful as possible, you need AI to augment your capabilities. You need that data processing. You need that acceleration, that accuracy, that automation. But you also need to double down on empathy, judgment, life experience, and most critically, those human-to-human relationships. Without that, you absolutely can be replaced by a machine. If you were just doing very narrow tasks day in and day out, guess what? Machines are real good at narrow, and if you're not at the top of your game, a machine will absolutely take your job. If, on the other hand, you're focusing on the people, machines aren't people. So, great question, challenging question as always, but there's a lot to unpack, and there's a lot of hope for people to be able to continue to have rich, vibrant, very successful careers as long as they focus on what human beings are good at, and let the machines be the best at what they are best at. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel and to the newsletter, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. If you want help with your company's data and analytics, visit BrainTrustInsights.com today and let us know how we can help you.